So if you have any questions, please hold them, and then we'll get to it. Thanks, everyone. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me? OK. All right, so this is our, I guess, time to kind of give an update on how things have been. And there's a lot of good news. I like this image because it's got a rocket. And like Tendermint started because it was inspired by a white paper funded by DARPA, of all organizations, for Byzantine fault-tolerant missile systems. So crazy stuff. But that's how it started. 2014, Tendermint is founded to create a consensus engine. It's a BFT engine. Ultimately to create proof of stake, but also to run non-proof of stake blockchain systems as well. And now I'm going to show some slides about the progress of Tendermint, which is pretty fantastic. But as you all know, or maybe some of you know, Tendermint Core is the open source Tendermint BFT engine. And then in 2016, 2 years later, we published a white paper on using Tendermint to create a network of blockchains in order to solve the scalability and interoperability problem for the blockchain crypto system. And that was in Shanghai, 2016. Soon after that, we had a fundraiser to create this Cosmos network. This is a really beautiful picture, kind of depicting what we are trying to create, which is a network of blockchains all connected to each other and interoperating. So the progress for Cosmos has been great. In 2018, we held the Game of Stakes incentivized testnet program. It was the first of its kind, where we had over 200 participants, strangers from the internet, all run together, launching a testnet altogether. And it was really amazing to see this decentralized launching of a blockchain using BFT consensus, which had never been done at that scale before. And that was a success. And soon after that, so this is the Game of Stakes logo. Soon after that, we launched the Cosmos Hub. So the Cosmos Hub it's powered by Tendermint. It's intended to be connected to all of these blockchains to enable token interoperability by allowing you to two-way peg tokens from one blockchain to another by going through the Cosmos Hub. And I'll tell you more about that. But here's sort of a nice image. This is Cosmos Hub. So, OK, why? More like how. How is Cosmos great? So I'm going to show you some things that show our progress just to see where we are today with Cosmos. Another beautiful picture. So first of all, proof of stake is gaining market cap traction. So this year, between Cosmos launching and today, it's already, the proof of stake market cap is going up. The scale is obviously skewed, but the point is it's going up. However, there's a more interesting slide here. Tendermint now powers 40% of all proof-of-stake blockchains. That's a pretty significant number here. So what this means is that there's a lot of blockchains being created today, and they obviously don't have a lot of market cap yet because they're still in the proof of concept or launching stages. But what this shows is that the new blockchains that are running proof of stake tend to choose Tendermint. And so we're seeing, at least on our side, a lot of projects picking up Tendermint and the Cosmos SDK and others, and publicly, saying that they will connect to the Cosmos Hub. What else do we have? We have an active validator community. I think we have some validators here. But what we're also finding is that, not only do we have a fantastic set of validators that are, essentially running and operating and making decisions for the Cosmos Hub, it's already, basically a massive DAO with a proper governance system, and there's an upgrade coming along for Cosmos as well. But this community is becoming the de facto proof of stake community. It's like when there's a new blockchain that wants to be launched, they go to the Cosmos Hub validators in order to hire validators for their blockchain. So the Cosmos Hub is becoming this Schelling point center for proof of stake validation activity. There's a lot of overlap with Tezos as well, but there's more validators that are active in Cosmos. Well, I think that's arguable, but in a way, that's certainly true. Okay, and there's over 100 projects building on Cosmos and Tendermint. So here are some. The biggest one that we know is Binance, and then Cosmos. There's Iris, and there's a lot of other blockchains building on Cosmos as well. We won't go through all of them, but if you go to cosmos.network/ecosystem or dapps.zone, you'll see more. And the Cosmos and the Cosmos SDK is it's still leading in terms of blockchain projects. So if you go to GitHub, you can see our activity for the Cosmos SDK. There's a lot of activity there. What else do we have? Okay, so here's our roadmap. So we launched the Cosmos Hub. Transfers were enabled. We made bug fixes. Now, supply module, height query, events refactor. So this is all about to happen. Cosmos Hub 2 is about to launch, and we also have along the way, split out the SDK and the Gaia repos. There's better organization, code organization. Gaia is the program that ultimately runs the Cosmos Hub. We have governance parameter changes, so you can actually change parameters automatically by having a governance proposal pass through on the Cosmos Hub. We have a better interfaces. We have, just more features. Okay, so this has already happened. And what's coming, this has happened in terms of software. But what's happening in terms of software now that we're developing is, of course, IBC. IBC is short for inter-blockchain communication. It's kind of like TCP/IP, but between blockchains, and it's sort of the magic sauce that allows the Cosmos ecosystem to solve the scalability problem of blockchains. Because by having secure communication between two blockchains, you can solve a lot of problems. So think TCP/IP for blockchains. So on-chain upgrades, there's a lot of features that are coming up. I think, let's see, interesting ones. There's a WASM module that's being worked on. Uniswap module as well, EVM module, and NFT module. So all of these are going to be components in the Cosmos SDK that you can pull in to create your application. And then once IBC is launched, you can also connect that to the Cosmos Hub and get scalability as well. All right. Here's some more milestones. The Interchain Foundation has funded a lot of projects. There's more funding that's coming along the way, and we just came up with a new idea for funding that needs to happen today, just before this talk. So there's a lot happening, and it's also becoming more decentralized. So we'll see more parallelism going on in the future as well. There's more development in terms of alternative SDKs. So Tendermint it's a language-agnostic blockchain engine, and using binary protocol, kind of like Apache Web Server talks to WordPress via CGI. You can plug in any framework or any application written in any language. So Foam and Kadena are collaborating in creating a Haskell SDK to be running on Tendermint, which means you'll be able to create blockchains in Haskell and connect it to Cosmos SDK as well. What else is coming up? In the future, there's going to be Tendermint and IBC implementations in Rust. There's some of that work starting to happen, and there's also other teams building Tendermint things and Tendermint in Rust as well. So there's a lot of Rust activity that's going to start consolidating soon. And in the future, we also want to focus on formal verification to ensure that Tendermint and all these softwares are correct. So that's going to be an ongoing focus for the Interchain Foundation towards the future. All right, what else is upcoming? More things are upcoming. IBC, so we just talked about this. It looks like I didn't review my slides, and there's some duplicate material, but it's fine. IBC is short for inter-blockchain communication. We're doing the Go implementation now. It's happening with All in Bits, which is basically the Tendermint company. It's doing business as Tendermint, but the legal name is All in Bits. The Interchain Foundation, Agoric, which is a fantastic project that's building secure ECMAScript smart contract systems by the original person kind of who wrote much about smart contract systems and so on, decades ago was finally building all this on the blockchain. And Binance. So these companies are collaborating to create IBC. What IBC is, so this is sort of a technical schematic, but basically, let's see. So you want two blockchains to communicate to each other securely. The way, this image doesn't really explain it very well. So, yeah, I'm going to skip this one. But I can explain it. So the very simple way to explain IBC and how it works is you consider a protocol that allows your phone to securely verify, say, the last block hash of the blockchain. In order to do that with Tendermint, you need the block hash, and then you need the signatures from 2/3 or more of the validators, so you can prove that this block hash has been committed. And then from there, you can have a Merkle proof down to a packet that's stored in the application state of the blockchain. And if you have that, which is a short piece of data, you can actually submit that as a transaction on another chain. So you've got chain A here, and you can produce the proof that there exists a packet outbound for chain B by having this commit with signatures and a Merkle proof. A relayer is required to relay that data and submit it in the blockchain of blockchain B, and someone has to pay a fee. So there's more details on how to make fees work, but there's various ways to do it. But that's basically the idea. And then, and that way you can have two different applications on two different blockchains communicate with each other. All right, so we have the IBC specification, which is done, and we are implementing now IBC. And the next stage after that is kind of like how we had Game of Stakes. We're going to have a Game of Zones to test IBC in a multi-tested environment. So that's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to take some of the learnings from Game of Stakes and make a good game here. And then we're going to launch IBC on the Cosmos Hub. Timeline-wise, I'm not going to commit to anything, but it's coming soon, so in a matter of months. Another thing we're working on now, while the community is working on, is the PEGI module, which allows you to bridge to Ethereum. So IBC works for between proof of stake or between Tendermint chains. But if you want to do something similar, in other words, communicate and allow token pegging with proof of work chains like Ethereum, then you need a different kind of system, and so that we call that PEGI. So when the PEGI module is done, you'll be able to connect directly to Ethereum as well and peg ERC20 tokens. Swish Labs is being commissioned by the Interchain Foundation to build PEGI, not Ethermint. And we have a unidirectional thing done, so we're going to test that, and then we're going to make it bidirectional, and then we're going to launch it. So not sure about the timeline here, but we'll see how Swish Labs does it. Ethermint is different. So PEGI allows you to literally connect to the mainnet Ethereum, or I guess other Ethereum-like chains. Ethermint is running smart contracts on a Tendermint blockchain, so it's a different aspect of bringing Ethereum to Cosmos. And by combining the bridge and by having Ethermint zones that are connected to the Cosmos Hub, you can scale Ethereum smart contracts. So that's how we scale Ethereum, or help scale Ethereum. So yeah, the goal of Ethermint is to have EVM module in the SDK that supports Web3 and is able to support forking Ethereum, the coin distribution, such that you can bring a copy of the Ether token onto Cosmos, right? So that's the ultimate goal. What's our progress? We can parse and validate existing Ethereum blockchain. Oh, so we can parse and validate it. So that's great. Yeah. But we still need a testnet. Okay. So ChainSafe is commissioned by the ICF to do that. It's a proof of concept, but we're going to improve it for 2.0, have another testnet, and then we'll have some fun experiments on Ethermint. Okay. So that's what's going on. There's more, but that's the stuff that is maybe the most up-to-date update on all the things that we've been announcing so far. There's going to be a hackathon in San Francisco, the DeFi hackathon, November 1st to the 3rd. So here's the URL for that. We're going to have some good partners, and it's going to be a big event, very close to the Ethereum event there. So please come if you are going to be, if you're interested in participating in the hackathon or just learning more about IBC, because we're going to have IBC hackathon, IBC ready to go, such that you can build things on it. Tonight, there's a Cosmos Singapore meetup. So here's the URL, meetup.com, Cosmos Singapore. Another QR code there. I hope to see you there. I think this is the first meetup, the inaugural Singapore meetup. Yeah. And that's it. That's our update. Thank you very much. If you want more information, follow us on Twitter and go to the website. And we're, I guess in short, extremely proud to be where we are today, and we're looking forward to launching things and taking this further, because there's actually more things going on that we can't talk about yet, but will be built upon all this infrastructure. So that'll be even more exciting. Thank you, and I think we can do some Q&A now.
Thank you, Jay. This is definitely some great ecosystem to follow, where we see some good inter-blockchain connectivity project coming along. So we can move on to Q&A. Maybe before I open the question to the floor, I will just ask maybe one question. Maybe the first question from me would be, I saw Peggy and Ethermint sort of works with Ethereum 1.x. So maybe you could share a little bit what would happen to those projects if Ethereum successfully moved to 2.0, where the way things work are really, really different, and how it integrates well with Cosmos.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, right. So the Peggy bridge is to specifically proof of work Ethereum mainnet 1.0. And also, the Ethermint project is the EVM for Ethereum 1.0 on Cosmos SDK. Ethereum 2.0, we are talking to some of the teams that are implementing it, and they're very interested in using and collaborating on the IBC spec for Ethereum 2.0. But otherwise, there's some of the details there. As far as I know, it's still fluid, so we don't know exactly yet. So I don't know all the answers there.
Yeah, things are a little bit murky, right? Yeah. I mean, Ethereum 2.0 may not happen as well, but who knows, right? Yeah, so I think I'm going to open a question to the floor. Anyone? Yep.
Hey, Jay, I was wondering, when you're talking about the IBC, how is that fee actually paid? Can you go into that a little bit, or is it too complicated?
Great question. So in the initial version, we're not going to do anything complicated. And in other words, in order to submit, have the relayer basically has to pay conceptually 2 transactions worth of fees, right? And that's going to be true for each direction on each chain. So if you want to peg tokens and transfer them via pegging from the Cosmos Hub to a connected zone, that would require submitting 2 transactions on the connected zone among the transactions you have to initiate on the Cosmos Hub in order to get that stuff in the state. But the relayer would be paying the transaction fees just like any other transaction fee. But that's a simple model, and it allows the fee market to work and do its magic. But we're going to have to make that better, so that maybe fees are subsidized, or maybe it's just easier, or maybe there's better ways to make it work across chains. So we have a few ideas, but we're not really sure how it's going to evolve yet.
Thank you. Either way, it's really inspiring what you guys are doing. So,
thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for support.
Anyone else with questions?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jay. So my question is around proof of stake and the utility of your Atom token. If you could briefly describe a little bit more about that, because obviously there's proof of stake rewards, but how do you, in that IBC, in that blockchain connection and interoperability, how do you see the utility of your Atom token to play out in that new ecosystem?
Yeah. Thank you. So the question was, how do we see the utility of atoms maybe today, and maybe how it might evolve? That's a good question. So today, it's primarily used as in order to earn inflationary atoms, which is kind of recursive, so it's not the best answer. But that system is there so that you're incentivized to bond your atoms. So it's such that the atom token is kind of forced to be a staking token, and that's for security and other reasons. The second thing is transaction fees, but of course there aren't very many transactions on the hub yet. But over time and with shared security, so in other words, the Cosmos Hub validators running multiple blockchains, that's the transaction fees will become more significant. By having atoms in staking, you can also participate in governance and decide where the network goes, of course. And I imagine, don't take my word for it, and this is not investment advice, but I think because the atom is not a currency, but as a staking token, the Cosmos Hub is going to have to, it's going to want to sort of choose a currency token or a fee token. And so, perhaps inflationary fee tokens might be paid to the staked Cosmos Hub validators as well. So that's all the stuff we talked about before. I'll say one thing, which is when it comes to thinking about this web of blockchains, I think thinking of the atom as the staking token for the ecosystem, such that you can even stake atoms for other chains that are connected by IBC to Cosmos Hub, is an interesting idea, because the Cosmos Hub could be responsible potentially for slashing staked atoms that are there to be bonded for other chains. And I think there's a lot of utility there to explore. I'll just leave it at that. So that's something new that we'll be talking about more in the future.
Thank you.
Hi Jay, thanks for the presentation. Having a zone ourselves, I'm very, very interested learning about what's going to happen with game on zones. Can you spoil a little bit and give us a little bit what's going to happen?
Unfortunately, I can't, not because I don't want to or that I'm not allowed to, but because I haven't been privy to those conversations yet. But do you have any idea of what that you might want to suggest that we do?
Well, it can be definitely adversarial.
Oh yeah. I think it should definitely be adversarial.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, there's a lot of projects that are building test nets and stuff. So I think it'd be fun to try to get all of them engaged too. But I don't know what the status is on thinking that through. I think we should probably do a better job publishing the plans for Game of Zones earlier. And one of the things we learned from last time was that the rules were not clear. People wanted clear rules, so we'll definitely do that, where we publish and maybe get some review of the Game of Zones idea, and then see what the community thinks.
Cool, thanks.
Anyone else with questions? Then maybe I can proceed with another question. So, as observer from the space, looking at the list of validators, I do see some validators that are giving out zero fees, for instance, where some validators are charging some sort of a fee. Do you think that this will be a problem in terms of decentralization, where most of the voters will maximize their profit by voting for the zero fees validator? And what are the ways to overcome that if it is a problem in that sense? Yeah.
It might become a problem. It certainly it seems that some validators are kind of upset, and some of the validators have zero fees. But I think what will happen is either by redelegation or by social pressure or by a software change, I think it will get addressed either way. So I'm not too worried about it. The thing to keep in mind is if one validator or a set gets too much voting power because of, say, zero fees or whatever reason, they're more liable to getting slashed. So as a delegator, you should definitely undelegate from validators that have too much stake, because it's more dangerous that way. But I think we don't really know how this is going to get solved, and we're keeping an eye on it because it's an interesting area of research.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks. Anyone else with questions? Okay, I will just proceed with maybe last few questions, perhaps.
Sure.
So, in the Ethereum space, there's a lot of killer apps that people predict, and one of the latest use case that people are building on top of it is DeFi. Do you see DeFi as something that Cosmos is going to be able to sort of like the killer app for Cosmos, where more developers will flock in and build maybe something like Compound or stablecoin and things like that? Or do you see that there are other use cases that are much more suited for Tendermint and also inter-blockchain connectivity? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, so I definitely think DeFi is the leading application, and so it's true in Ethereum, and I think it'll be just as true in Cosmos. And that's why we're having the DeFi hackathon as well, and we're calling it a DeFi hackathon because we want it to focus on these financial applications first and foremost. There are some, for example, like there's TBTC, which they publicly announced that they will be supporting, systems like Cosmos, so you're going to get bitcoins pegged. There's like Y tokens. We'd love to see that implemented. So maybe we will get to work with Dan to implement that as well. And also Uniswap, right? So there's a Uniswap module that I mentioned before. So these are just some of the things that are happening today, and we want there to be much more DeFi experiments on Cosmos. So yeah, please stay tuned. We definitely want to see more DeFi. We think it's very important. There are definitely other applications that are not DeFi related, and I think some of the important ones are like social and communications applications. So arguably, that's another good way to get more users onto the Cosmos ecosystem. So we want to see those projects funded as well. So if you have any ideas for social or communications or other non-financial things, come to us, come to me. We're also interested in those applications. But it looks like DeFi will be first.
Right. Okay. Maybe last question from my side is, so with the advent of Polkadot launching soon, and Ethereum 2.0 in the horizon as well. Nobody knows how long the timeline will be, but they sort of try to solve scalability issue and inter-blockchain connectivity. What's your thought on that, on how Cosmos will play a role or compete with competing chains as more and more network look at the possibility of solving problems of scalability in the same way as how you guys are approaching it? Maybe you can share your thoughts on that too.
So that was comparing like Cosmos versus Polkadot.
Polkadot and Ethereum 2.0.
Ethereum 2.0. Well, the way I see it with DeFi, it's like our approach is always like has always been with the Cosmos Hub to create all the tools and software such that it's modular and well designed enough that it can be used for anything, including non-financial applications. But the niche and the purpose of the Cosmos Hub that it wants to solve, first and foremost, is token pegging. In other words, it is about finance, decentralized finance. That's why and there's a lot of decentralized exchange applications being built in the Cosmos ecosystem, and the other DeFi things that I mentioned as well. So because we're focusing on finance, I think that may give Cosmos an edge in terms of developing the ecosystem. And then once we have that, simultaneously we're going to be encouraging everyone to use IBC in our stack to build other things. And we would love for Polkadot and Ethereum 2.0 to use as much of our technology as possible, because there's no reason why the Cosmos Hub needs to do everything, including cross-chain smart contract calls, right? If these other platforms don't solve the problem, then I can maybe Cosmos might get involved in the future and do something there. But the things that Ethereum 2.0 and Polkadot are solving with cross-chain smart contract calls and state reversion when something goes wrong, it's all extremely it's technically very complicated. So it's not our focus. But hopefully IBC and Tendermint and things like that are useful in building those things out.
Sure. Okay.
I just wanted to also mention that we definitely want to see the Cosmos Hub connected to Polkadot and Ethereum 2.0. I think in the best case, we all succeed and we find our niches and we interoperate together.
Right. So kind of playing the more open approach to things where any blockchain should connect to the Cosmos Hub at the end, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so I think that's all we have for now. So thank you very much to Jay Kwon. A round of applause to him for sharing the roadmap of Cosmos and answer the questions for us as well.